Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome to a new episode of StarCraft II study. Now a few weeks back I made a video that you guys can now send me replays, and I've been going over those replays quite a lot and I've been getting way more than I actually expected at first. I believe I got about 60 or so of replays and I was like, oh my god, actually people like to send me replays. So like instead of addressing one single person in each of those videos, what I'm going to do instead is address one specific topic. Right now I've been selecting replays that are mainly Zerg vs Protoss related, and I noticed that a lot of players obsess over strategy a lot. One of the things that I've been seeing a lot is people obsessing over something like overlord placement, over something like whether or not they should go Mutalisk or whether or not they should go for Hydralisk or whatever, and I think people aren't realizing, and you out there, aren't realizing that macro is incredibly important. One of the things that you should be able to reach in Zerg vs Protoss early game, on 3 hatcheries with 3 queens, you should be able to hit at least between 40 and 44 supply at the 5-minute and 50-second mark. Now I know this sounds like a lot of technical stuff, and I know it's something that you might not realize, but a lot of people that are between like Gold League and Platinum League and below are hitting between like 35 and 40 supply mark, like some are even below that. For example, hitting like 30 and like... If you're hitting between the 30 and 35 supply mark at the 550 mark, that means that within 6 minutes of time, you are basically putting yourself between the 10 and 12 drones behind. That is a huge deal. It actually means so much that it doesn't really matter what strategy you are going for, because you simply aren't up to par in Protoss or in macro. So what I'm going to do this game, instead of focusing on one player, I'm going to be talking about Zerg vs Protoss early game. I'm actually going to be playing a game myself. What we are going to focus on is hitting the 550 mark. We are going to try and hit between the 40 and 44 supply. I'm going to make a little series of videos about this, and I'm actually going to try and help you that way by maxing out at the 11 and 30 second mark. And as long as you try to practice this the best you can, I'm sure that pretty much everyone out there should be able to max out between 11.5 minutes and 12-minute mark. So for now, in this video, we are going to just talk about what you should be doing up until the 550 mark, which is right at the point that you should be taking your gas geysers. So let's hop straight into the game. So here we are in the actual game. I'm going to be opening up a custom game on Cloud Kingdom Alley, and as you can see, I could be adding a team right now, I could be adding an AI, a player, a friend, whatever, but I'm not going to do any of that. I'm actually just going to be opening up a game, and I'm going to start it. What I'm going to practice right now is I'm going to assume my Protoss opponent went for a Nexus first, and or either that's like a Nexus first or like a Forge Fast Expand, something like that. Some really fast 2 base play by my Protoss opponent. Now, as you notice, there's not... Oh, I need to click this away. There's not actually a Protoss opponent in this game. But I'm just going to be opening this game and practice it this way. I think a lot of people don't realize how important this can honestly be. Because, you know, if you're already leaking about 12 supply within 6 minutes, this is like the golden thing you can do to really improve your game, instead of just blindly grinding ladder points. Now, as you might have noticed, I'm playing this game and I'm talking at the same time, so it's going to be honestly quite hard to do so. But yeah, bear with me if I make a couple of minor mistakes. I should be able to execute the build order properly, but you know, it's kind of tough to talk and play at the same time. So I'm going to be opening up with a 9 Overlord, and since I'm not playing versus opponent, I'm not going to really focus on my Overlord placement too much. But if I'm able to, and if I'm actually able to spread my Overlords out that way, it's quite fine. Now what you normally do is actually do this about 10 times in a row, and I know 10 times sounds like quite a lot, but you can actually grind this out like at least 20 times an hour. And if you do this about for like 1 or 2 hours, I'm pretty sure you will be able to hit this just perfectly. So what I'm going to do is open up with a 15 spawning pool, and I'm just going to open up with the Savano kind of Zerg vs Protoss style. Now what you could try and do is do this for like half an hour for like 3 days in a row. And at this point I should be having a new video up that we are going to talk about the between 5 minutes and around, I think we are going to discuss the 550 and the 8-minute mark, something like that. But for now we are going to talk about this game until the 550 mark. So as you can see, open up with a 15 spawning pool, and I'm basically just selecting my drones, making sure that they go into mine. And as soon as I hit 200 minerals at the 16 supply mark, going to send out 1 drone to my low ground. I'm going to make that into a hatchery.
We require more minerals.
So far so good, not making any mistakes, and right now I'm going to be creating an overlord. At 15 supply once again, just like Stefano does. As soon as my spawning pool finishes, I'm going to start a queen. So I'm already holding down the W button, which is my queen button. And then, as you can see, I'm cutting off a little bit of time right there. I'm also going to start one set of Zerglings. Now, I'm going to assume the Protoss player is going to harass me a little bit. So what I'm doing is basically making one set of Zerglings, sending it to the third base because they are going to scout right there. And while my Zerglings are creating, I'm making drones at the same time. Now right after my Zergling spawn, I'm going to select a drone and actually send it to my third base. I'm also going to be queuing up a second queen right now. This is all part of the build order and I've discussed this plenty of times, but I'm going to discuss it in complete depth right now. So as soon as my queen finishes, I'm going to inject it and walk it to my natural. As soon as my drone arrives at this base, I'm going to wait until 300 minerals and make it into a hatchery. Right now, going back to droning. As you can see, one drone too many. I got 17 drones in my main base and I only need 16 right there. So I'm just making sure that I'm doing this properly. At 25 supply, I'm going to hit another overlord. So at this point, it becomes a lot harder, right? The early part of the game is always the easiest part. But right now, I need to worry about my queen injects. Their first inject pops off. I'm going to inject right away once again. Second queen spawn, going to inject with that one right away as well. I'm going to wait for my overlord right now. Could have honestly made this one a little tiny bit earlier, but not the biggest deal. I'm going to be making as many drones once again as soon as the overlord finishes. Right now, 32 supply, going to start a second overlord, and I'm not really focusing on the position of those at all anymore. Now, just like Stefano does, I'm going to be making a creep tumor with this queen and walk it to my third base. And I'm going to start a third queen as well. There we go, third queen going down. I'm going to walk that one to the third base, inject in my main base. And once again, we are almost at the 5 minutes and 50 supply mark. And right now, I'm going to already hit the 50 or the 40 supply. And here we are, 5 minutes and 45 seconds. And we are basically at the point that I want to be at. As you can see, 45 supply, 550. This is what I want you to do for now. Open up a custom game. Practice this about 10 times until you actually reach it consistently without thinking about it. Now, I already made a video about the rest of the game, but I really want you to focus on just hitting this. So, as always, have an awesome day. Please let me know in the comments what you think of these kinds of videos. And in the next video, we are going to discuss the build order more in depth. And we are going to go into the second part of doing a build order in Zerg vs Protoss. So I want to thank you guys all for watching. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to smile. And hopefully, you will hit the 40 or 44 supply mark at the 550 mark. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!